different situations from different parts of Nigeria this time, and we're keeping up. More information coming your way. Stay with us. It is an FM 93.7. This is Three Little Birds, Bob Marley.
to 93.7 Citizen FM, the latest radio station based in Nigeria's capital. Our station seeks to broadcast a broad mix of culture and views with priority given to development programming to enable residents share ideas and opinions, music and drama. At Citizen FM, we believe in progressive talk and solution-driven conversation. Our aim is to build a united Nigeria by bringing people of diverse culture together through communication. Enjoy listening to 93.7 Citizen FM. We are more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life.
Citizen FM 93.7. You just listened to the chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, giving situation report on different parts of the country. I talked about it earlier before we took that break, but just making reference to it now, just in case you missed that briefing. I'll just give you the country. Of course, in parts of Abuja, we've had reports of rainfall here and there. We've had reports of how that some people have not been able to cast their votes because the rain started, pouring. But we also have reports of people who said they were able to vote before the rains began. We've had some calls so far. A couple of people have called in from different parts of Abuja. Good evening. My name is Janeth Godwin from Mararaba Sharp Corner. Weather here looks like it will rain, but have not started falling yet. Now, the thing about this message is that it came in about 30 minutes or more ago, but it came in at 4:48 p.m. But we couldn't take it earlier because, of course, we were hooked up to the ICC, the International Conference Center, from where the INEC chairman addressed National Collation Center. That will be happening by midday tomorrow. That revelation was made when INEC starts again 5 minutes ago. Questions were asked. Some people asked questions as to what would happen to people who decided to help INEC to conduct elections because INEC officials did not turn up when they were supposed to turn up. And of course, even me, I think I saw the answer before it came. INEC boss wondered. I know your intentions are pure, right? Reports from people we sent to do the job. People we did not send message and decided to do the job. We may not be able to take numbers from them or figures as to in Abuja, here in the Federal Capital Territory rather. He has also promised to get in touch with the electoral officer of all the areas concerned to also give us update on the situation. More people would have preferred to ask more questions, but of course, we are in the middle of an election. We cannot afford to have all the answers to every question on this day. There'll be time for all that. Let's also remember that the tribunal phase is coming after the elections. People will go to court. People would serve court sermons. There'll be a lot, and I can't wait for that to happen. Philip sending a message. Philip is sending in a message from Cairo. He's saying that it's been a peaceful process in my area, and I'm grateful that I was able to vote for the very... Oh, really? Okay. Philip says it's his very first time to vote. If you remember, we had a conversation with Aisha earlier on the show. Aisha said it would be her very first time voting ever in Nigeria. These are the kind of stories I want to hear. It's not as though it's not a good thing if you voted before, but I like to see that more people are interested in the Nigerian process. More people are we cannot confess. Okay, yeah, parts of Lagos too have reported, civil messages that we have. Yes, we have an update from Situation Room where Philomena Okolo is. She'll be addressing us in a bit, giving us live feed of what's going on in the Situation Room. I'll be joining up with her in about 2 minutes. Yeah, at 5:30 we'll be taking her up and hearing what is happening in the Situation Room at Code. All right, stay with us. It is an FM 93.
I am Nigeria. I am Nigerian. I am Abuja. Investigations, spirit, analysis, and breaking news. Premium terms leading to media news platform. brings to you every minute stories that helps you make informed decisions and hold public officials, individuals and organizations accountable. We have cartoons, videos, podcasts and other interesting content for your delight. For timely update on politics, entertainment, sport and business, visit our website on www.premiumtimesng.com and follow us on all our social media platforms. Don't miss out.
93.7 Citizen FM.
Unanda ni bila kane rini ile di kunyala na kwa bani bila babesaka ineta Abuja ana bi Citizen FM 93.7 era metete ene ya ni bila va se no se ve inile jose ekwe etono ni agugo himboluva aba se men wa bani bila duye ineta Abuja ezo wa ya kene ake wale tili nuwo duaka isana na ino cool down ni bila kane ri ume ovi oniva se kale nile ya bani bila saka de kada wona geten aboni.
Abuja. Wake up. Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this is your station. Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM.
From over the country, and we've been able to collect real-time data from over 51% of the local governments in Nigeria, which is quite very impressive. And the data coming in, number of positives and other things to also kind of watch out for too. When we look at the data coming in, if you look at polling units in neutral places, I think we've done a lot of, we've seen a lot of positives there with over 80% thereabout of our polling units in neutral places. And but of concern, if we look at when the voting started, INEC officials arriving, you'll see that INEC officials, we didn't see that voting happening as at the time we thought voting will commence. From the real-time data we're getting, over 52% of the polling units didn't as at 8. I mean, the INEC officials were not there as at 8 a.m. this morning. Please next. Please. Yes, accreditation with Beavers. Quite a number of positives there too. We see that voters accreditation, 99% of voters responding that they were, accreditation was going on with Beavers in about 99% of locations that we've collected data from. Cases of fingerprint failure. Yeah, so if we're looking at the percentage of number of failed authentication, in most of the polling units, about 41% of the polling units were seeing about 1 to 5 cases. But yes, in some polling units above 10 where you have authentication issues. Okay, good. Please take me to the Beavers and security issues. I'll just touch on that, then hand back over to the team. Beavers and security issues. So, like I said, quite a number of positives as as the data is coming in. The turnaround time for Beavers, as we're saying, 2 to 5 minutes. With over 75% of the polling units reporting 2 to 5 minutes of Beavers turnaround, but about 25% of the rest of the polling unit are experiencing over 5 minutes of Beavers turnaround. That means it will take a longer time before the people who are coming to vote will be able to complete the voting process. Inducement. 93% of the polling units have said they've not seen any inducement, but in 7% of the polling units, yes. And security personnel have also been observed to be non-partisan in about 75% of our polling units. I'll just hand over to my team now to talk about other issues arising.
Thank you so much. So this was the structural data, from over 50% of local government. So that, 51%. So that's over 400 local government across Nigeria. That's quite impressive. Thank you so much. And like you all know, we deployed 20,000 observers across the 36 states and the FCT. I'll call on the head of the situation room, Emmanuel Njoku, to take us through the real-time situation report. So can you please put up the Oshahidi map?
Okay, so thank you all for being here. And so as you all know, maybe before now, our Uzabe has 2 legs. When you just saw now is the structured reports, which gives us structured report using a particular Google form that they filled. That's how we can get that data. Now for the second leg, which is our deployment with our partners Shahid in Kenya, this gives us a kind of unstructured report. So a lot of work has gone on for us to be able to put this in front here. We have close to 70 to 80 persons, 100 persons actually working physically here and remotely, so that when these informations come into the back end, we make calls, we ask for pictures, we do verifications before we confirm and then publish it for people to be able to see the front end. And when you come to this map, uzabe.org, when you zoom in, you'll be able to see information as we are publishing them here. So this allows us to also put out pictures and videos. So if there is a report somewhere and there is a picture that goes with it, you put it out here. So as you're seeing it, you're seeing the picture. And the good thing about this is we ensure that it's geolocated to the polling unit. So that's why you see the different pictures. And so if you look at it, you will see every category. That is, zoom in a bit to that. So you can see. So that's a particular polling unit where beavers malfunction with the details. So for now, the colors we will still talk about one of the challenges we've seen. Even one of our colleagues here, where he went to vote in the polling unit in FCT at the the polling unit in front of the National Library in Area 2, he got there to vote, and when they did the positive identification, his name, of course, was on the voter register. The one they pasted on the wall, his name was on the voter register. But when he got the beavers to identify him, his details was not in the beavers. And then we asked questions. The other observers there told us that he's not the first. They called up another guy who came out and said, yes, he's having the same case. And sadly, these are people who registered to vote in that same area too in 2017. They voted in 2019 general election in that same area too. And we are coming today and you are telling them that their name is not on the voter register. That is very disheartening. I mean, if you saw the other guy with his siblings, they look like they were mourning, because we understand how painful it is for Nigerians and the excitement at the level of awareness that we've seen in this election, that someone comes out to the polling unit hoping to do the needful, and then he's disenfranchised for no fault of his. We believe that going forward, this should be addressed, in as much as it's very minor. But then no Nigerian deserves to be disenfranchised for no fault of his. But our major concern in this election, like we talked about, is the voter turnout. As we are speaking now, we just got a report from Ohafia in Abia State, in polling unit 06, Amebu Community School. At this time, INEC materials have not arrived in this polling unit as we speak. People are still there hoping to vote, and people have turned out to vote. And I mean, everybody knew that we are going to have high voter turnout in this election. So it was important that, I mean, we all stakeholders, INEC particularly, prepared more as regards logistics. We've always said that elections is probably 80-90% logistics. So when you prepare for everything and you fail when it comes to logistics, it affects the whole election day process. So this and many more we've been observing. Yeah, we've seen cases of ballot box snatching. We've seen cases of violence here and there, voter suppression especially. We've observed voter suppression in some polling units in Ikare, in Abuja, Lagos, in Port Harcourt, in Delta states where citizens are threatened to vote a particular party or stay away from there. Where we see party agents standing and insisting that you must vote for a particular party, and if you don't, they threaten you or ask you to go home. So we've seen voter suppression at this level, which we think is with the age and time we are, and with kind of turnout we've seen, which we think is also bad. One last thing that I will talk about for now, as we're still getting reports, is INEC allocation of reallocation of voters. Yes, the Electoral Act, of course, gives INEC the powers to allocate voters from polling unit to other polling units. Their reason is that they are trying to reduce the polling units where there are large numbers of people, and also to move people to polling units closer to them. Now, what we've observed today is that I am not too sure if I will say that this has worked effectively. Like I said, the polling unit where I voted, particularly in Gariki 2, Gariki Village polling unit in Gariki 2, FCT, my polling unit had 2,050 persons. But just within 1 kilometer, both to your left, to your right, there are about 6 polling units in those areas that had less than 100 persons registered to vote. Now, the loss for us as a country and on taxpayers' money, in my own opinion, is that you have these 6 polling units and all these polling units littered all over the place, and INEC deployed 4 ad hoc staff and 1 PVC for each of these polling units. 4 ad hoc staff, 4 security personnel, and 1 PVC this polling unit. Meanwhile, in the polling unit where you have over 1,000 and 2,000 registered voters in these places, you are deploying just 6 persons. 6 persons who worked probably till late today with only 2 beavers. Meanwhile, these other persons, about 8 persons, are there to attend to just less than 100 persons. So we would have thought that INEC should have properly allocated people in these places so that the money that they've budgeted for this would have been effectively used and served the people. So, we are still observing and we are watching, especially at this time. This is like I said before, this is the red alert hours where we are anticipating with what the preliminary report we've seen. We are anticipating there will be violence across the country because citizens who are waiting to vote and they've not seen INEC staff and they've not voted, typically you cannot exactly say how they will react in the coming minutes or in the coming hours. This can lead to tension. This can lead to violence, and as the results are also coming, we are looking and watching and observing, hoping that it won't be as bad as people are anticipating. Thank you, Hamza.
Well, thank you so much, Manu. Yesterday, after our interaction, I took a trip to some of the neighboring states, from Niger to Nasarawa, and I ended up in Kogi, where we slept, and we were actually on ground in some of the polling units before INEC started. We're really impressed in the responsive time of INEC. So I remember in Upogoro Udenku Ward, Unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the beavers failed by 6:30 during accreditation. It failed completely. And what we did was the returning officer called the IREC, and the IREC was deployed to the place. But while the IREC was on his way, he placed a call to the returning officer and told him what to do. So he gave him instruction on the phone, and in less than 7 minutes, the system came back online. And in less than 30 seconds, these beavers accredit each electorate on the queue. So just to say that this is one positive event that we've seen in most polling units, that the beavers failed in the early hours of today. Also was the fact that the deployment of security, and for us, why we traveled around some of these neighboring states, is to see how much the joint security efforts is being put in place to cordon off, people, and also watch how hoodlums or mischief makers are moving harmful equipment. And one thing we realized was the army particularly clamped down on hoodlums and political talks. Who were armed, interestingly, who were armed with pump action and machete. Some of the people they also arrested were vigilante people. So what we found out was a lot of politicians deployed vigilante, and I remember the IG of police had said, they do not recognize vigilante or any of this regional security architecture. So we noticed the deployment of military personnel who arrested them, and we're hoping that they will hand them over to the police and prosecution will take place. It is really sad that we've seen, particularly in the southeast, the south-south, and the southwest, where electorates are being suppressed, intimidated, and harassed because of their either political leaning or because of their choice of candidates. We experience some places where, as I speak to you, materials have not gotten there up till now. And it's really unfortunate that even after we escalated it to INEC, they did not respond appropriately. Most of what they keep saying is they're on their way. Materials are coming. And the distance from the local government or even the RAS center is just less than 30 minutes. So for us, we could not understand why they would keep saying they're on their way and yet nothing is happening on the ground. And for us, what we're observing is there's been some political interference in some of these states where they're clamping down on the strongholds of their opposition, rather. Just to, before I pass the mic to my colleague, just to say that we're really proud of the turnout of voters. In most of the polling units, they're mostly women and young people, and older women. So for us, this is just to say that the work that we've done as civil society and media is actually paying off. And our fear is we hope that these people do not get or would not be disenfranchised, because if this happened, then it will be a rollback of all the efforts we've put in place. I would pass the mic to Ode, just to give a bit of update of what he's on the field.
Yeah, thank you very much, and good afternoon to everybody. Interestingly, I don't think I want to overflog or emphasize on what has been spoken about, the high voters turnout, which has been observed in most places we visited. As a code observer, I was privileged to be in Dawaki here in Abuja and also in Gwagwalada. It was a long drive, but yes, I want to also commend the security forces. I had a good experience with a couple of them on the road, but with the observer's card, I was able to pass through. But two experiences I would like to share in polling units in Gwagwalada. One of them clearly was the challenge with persons with disabilities who found it very difficult accessing, because the polling units most of the times are in schools or in public places. It was difficult for a couple of them to access the unit because of either there are no accessibility aids for them to vote. But yes, that was the challenge I identified. Secondly, I put that down somewhere. But yes, I also don't want to overemphasize on the security issues which happened. Also, vote buying. A couple of people saw me with the observer's card and approached me like some people are doing vote buying. They're not doing Naira anymore. They are doing dollars. So it was interesting to hear like people were struggling and trying to identify what is fake or real. That is not our problem, but that is happening. Another instance was, it's now not money, but fabrics. Like, how do you say, wrapper for women. So they are now distributing in those kind of, not because people are not accessing cash at the point. But yes, it's quite important to see that young people are really excited out there, and the voters turnout in most places was really high. And lastly, I think about the insecurity, there were a couple of feedback which we also received from most especially from Imo, Rivers, and Kogi, where political thugs are disrupting situations, places where polling units where voters are trying to vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Odi. Thank you. I joined your Instagram live and I saw you on the road. Code is calling on security agencies to activate their red alerts. This is the time where violence would actually erupt, when results are actually trickling in. With the deep fake now, fake news, misinformation, and disinformation. And just yesterday we saw deep fake playing out a few hours to the pool. It is important that the security agencies activate their red alerts. And we want to also urge young people, particularly young people in the urban area who are using social media. It is only INEC, by law, that is allowed to announce winners. Yes, we know that in every polling unit, they would sort and count and announce the highest number of vote tally. But please, it is not your role to declare winners, because in most cases, this is what usually instigates violence across Nigeria. So this is our call to security agencies to be on high alert and be on the watch out. And just to comment again, our security agencies, the INEC ad hoc staff, by the way, they're mostly young people, NYC core members. So we're really excited that young people are actually playing a significant role in these elections. I would open the floor for questions. If there's no question, we can reconvene later in the day.
And there were no questions. Wow, 5:50. Has it not been a good day so far? Honestly, keeping up with the, elections, Nigeria 2023, knowing what is happening. You just heard Cold Room situation report. What has been happening? We are proud of the turnout of women and girls, and it's such a great feeling knowing that more people are excited, coming out or participating in the elections. 2023 presidential and National Assembly elections has seen more participation than it has seen in recent times. Women and girls of voting age coming out and saying, yes, we want to decide who takes the baton of being the next president of the country. It's one of the things you heard from that situation room. One of the observers who covered Dawaki and Gwagwalada commended security forces and said, he driving. You can imagine the stretch all the way from Dawaki to Gwagwalada. No, that was not an easy bolt at all. Anyway. So he's commended security agencies. He narrated his experience driving all the way to and fro. And the report he's giving is that it has been a pretty calm situation on the roads. The roads are safe. But something of importance that may not have gotten as much attention as it should have. Of course, it got attention. We over time, built up to the elections, talked about people with disabilities. What are some of the, provisions that have been made for them, but it seems like from the report that we're getting from Code Situation Room, maybe more could have been done. Just more could have been done. Doesn't mean that they didn't enjoy any support of any sort, but going forward, we hope that they enjoy better. They enjoy just better support. Yes, and we know that. We also heard about the vote buying situation recorded in some areas, what he called wrapper for women and other materials. As we know, there's been a cash situation in Nigeria, so that is not even popular anymore. We're not talking, politicians turning up or politicians or their agents turning up at voting centers or polling units and then sharing cash. No. What he said was that some people we saw a situation of dollar exchange, but more in comparison, though it doesn't mean that it happened a lot, but in comparison to the cash share, we saw more items distributed to people to ensure that they voted them. But the thing is, some people will still collect whatever you're sharing and still not vote you. People are getting wiser by the day, and they are. Anyway, Code also called on security agencies to activate their red alert. This is a time when we need to do better. And of course, I love the reminder where he categorically said only INEC is allowed to announce winners. If you've joined me since around 3 p.m. when I came on, it was one of the first things I said. people who are, what's it called, monitoring on social media, please be very careful what you see. In fact, on some mainstream media reports, you need to also be very careful what you see, because some reports may be released and then they would make a U-turn and say, oh, well, there's an update now. There's an update on the situation. So be careful. Be very, very careful. These are not the times that you would, just take everything you see, hook, line, and sinker. In fact, if there was any time you were careful, it should be now. Citizen FM 93.7. Thank you for staying with us. We've been monitoring elections in Nigeria, presidential elections, National Assembly elections, 25 February 2023. Let's take a song, Culture, and this one is Tribal War. No, we can't stop this. Tribal War can't stop the fun.
We don't need no tribal.
Hello, Abuja. You are listening to 93.7 Citizen FM, the latest radio station based in Nigeria's capital. Our station seeks to broadcast a broad mix of culture and views with priority given to development programming to enable residents share ideas and opinions, music and drama. At Citizen FM, we believe in progressive talk and solution-driven conversation. Our aim is to build a united Nigeria by bringing people of diverse culture together through communication. Enjoy listening to 93.7 Citizen FM. We are more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life.
Celebrating our cultural pride is our core essence. Let's bring people together through communication as we say we would. Let's meet Oloye Babake.
tó bó ṣe rí lẹ ti gbọ́n o ẹja pàwọ́pọ̀ ká ti ètò ìlẹ́yìn gbogbo ọmọ káàárọ̀ jíire pátápátá bó ṣe rí lẹ ti gbọ́n o ẹ ṣeun.
Alhaji Sadiq Abubakar.
Barkanmu da warhaka ku kasance tare da mu a cikin shirin kowane rana.
Ichie Ekene Ezebwe.
ụmụnne m na-esonyela na ya oge ọbụla ebe ọ na-akpọtụ ebe ejedebe ya na ebe a nọ ịghọtago adụm ekwuzikwa ka mmadụ.
And Olobowada.
Bomigala mewola ikoi udama osnyogba mewaka dama tiduka nekito nyimbo kete kinwowo menitiru yijuki de ya nyonwa chakadu udama igala.
Join us on Melting Pot every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. as we meet elders from our different ethnic groups in Nigeria and bring you closer to your roots. Live on Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja. Melting Pot. Don't miss it.
It's incisive and comprehensive. It's objective and balanced. It's the complete news and current affairs program on radio. A total package on topical social political issues. It's Insight. Join Lawrence Umwete on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja for Insight, Mondays to Thursdays at 10:05 a.m. on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. Insight with Lawrence Umwete. Be part of the experience.
Citizen FM 93.7, 6:03, that's what the time is. And it is on this day Nigerians are making that decision on who will be president and who would represent them at the National Assembly as well. Two things in one. March 11, we go again. March 11, it will be state governors and state houses of assembly. And of course, some rescheduled elections from today, as INEC boss has said earlier, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, where he said some elections that didn't happen today will be rescheduled for March 11. So fingers crossed on that one. Okay. Well, in the next couple of minutes, we will listen to good songs, good reggae tunes, just for a few minutes. And when we come back, we will be giving you more updates. Yes, we have more updates that have come in since the last time that I spoke. So I'll be giving you all of them. And of course, destination time is 7 p.m. That's in about an hour's time. So stay with us. I'll be back soon. Here is Bob Marley and the Wailers. Redemption Song.